Together we'll grow, heal, and keep it 1000% real. Serenity, be you, stay true. Find your voice in all you do. Serenity, your space to thrive. Authentic living keeps dreams alive. Serenity, be you, stay true. Find your voice in all you do. Serenity, your space to thrive. Authentic living keeps dreams alive. Serenity, be you, stay true. Find your voice in all you do. Serenity, your space to thrive. Authentic living keeps dreams alive. Keeps dreams alive. Keeps dreams alive. Be you, stay true. Find your voice in all you do. Your space to thrive. Authentic living keeps dreams alive.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Cerenity Podcast. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. We have some special guests on here, and our topic tonight is going to be, we're going to talk about truth, why everybody does not like the truth. And the women that are joining me tonight, they are very special to me. I want to introduce each one of them to you. I have Sherry Hightower, Rhonda Jones, and Lisa Davis. I've been knowing these women for a while now, and I invited them to join me because we're talking about the truth. And one thing I love about these women is they don't let me get away with anything. They know me and they will call me out on my stuff. So, you know, we were talking about people and why they hate the truth. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Ladies, I want you to introduce yourself. Sherry, what do you want to tell the audience about yourself?
Oh, good Lord. Well, my name's Sherry Hightower. I live in San Antonio, Texas. I met Carlene at church. She and her beautiful children were members of the church that we all belonged to. My father was the pastor there, so that's how I got to know Miss Carlene and her family. So, still live in San Antonio. I've been here, I guess, I moved here in '76. I'm an Army brat, so that's how I ended up being here. But this is my home. That's
Okay.
it.
Rhonda, you want to go next?
Me?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Girl, but, well, he's like, where do you start? I'm me. Uh, that's the only way I know how to be. I met Carlene at work. We were, what, wild buddies or whatever. So
Uh-huh.
he kept it real. I kept it real. And that's how we navigate life and hold one another accountable. I am going to be a 15-year breast cancer survivor coming up in September. Get ready to party.
Yes.
Life is about living and loving.
Oh, praise the Lord.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. And certainly not last, Miss Lisa Davis. Lisa, what you want the audience to know about you?
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, you can't
Yes,
hear me.
ma'am,
Yes.
birthday
Okay.
girl. Come on through.
I'm
Hmm.
sorry. My name is Lisa Davis. Today I am 60 years young.
Yes.
Woohoo!
And I love
Yay!
Carlene because she is my ex-sister-in-law. My brother was married to her sister.
You know,
Yes.
you got a
Yes.
lot of
So
sisters.
All
Lisa
righty
and
then.
now
Your
let me tell
sisters
you
are
guys about these ladies. they're all my sisters. Lisa and I have been together the longest because we grew up in the same area. We knew each other. We had no idea her brother was going to marry my sister. They had children. Now we shared nieces and nephews. Okay. So we ain't going to never be out of each other's lives. And the same way with Rhonda and Sherry. Like Sherry said, I met her at church. She's the big sister. She pulls rank on me and tell me she's gonna kick my butt all the time when I do stuff that ain't right. But you know, hey, that when you're the middle child, you get bounced around and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then with me and Rhonda's relationship, we're like sisters, except for I get to be the big sister. She's younger, but you can't tell it. We can't tell it when we're around each other because one thing about it at work, when I get fired up, she runs over there and she's like, "Hold on, about it at work. Hold on." Can't do that. And then when I'm over the wall, I hear her, then I run around there and I'm like, okay, Rhonda, wait a minute, hold on. You know, trying to calm the situation down because, you know, all of us are pretty mild mannered. However, when you get us riled up, it's something. And, you know, I thank God that each of these women have been there to help me through difficult times and situations. You know, we help each other and that's what it's all about. So a little bit about the podcast. It came about because my producer, Destiny, she watches Sisters. And anybody that watches Sisters, you know Miss Marie on there. Miss Marie is a mogul. Okay, she's a mogul, but she keeps the women in line. She'll sit them down, you know, pull their chain and tell them, hey. And so Destiny said, called me one day and she said, how would you like to have your own podcast? And I was like, what you say? Wait, hold on. Let me process this. I tell you what, let me pray on it and I call you back. And I think that went on for about a week and a half. And so if anybody knows me, I will pray about it. And I said, okay, Lord, because I was leaning toward not doing it. And so I told the Lord, you know, you always think you can outsmart God, but you can't. You know, in your mind, you think I got this figured out. And so I said, well, you know what, Lord, if you want me to do this, give me the name of the podcast and give me the date and time. And so I didn't hear anything. So I was like, good, I don't have to do this. Then I was meditating a couple of days later and praying. And the Holy Spirit says Serenity, Sunday, 6 p.m. I was like, oh, so I guess I am doing this. Okay, Jesus, I got it. I heard you. So that's how we got to where we are now. And so I thank you, ladies, for joining me today. Now, let's dig into this topic because I am dying to hear what you guys got to say about this. Okay, when we talk about truth, have you ever had people come up to you and say, okay, let me tell you something. Then they tell you something. And then they'll go, well, what do you think? And then when you give them the truth about what you think about what they said, they don't like it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had any situations like that?
I think we all have
Okay.
situations like that.
Okay.
I'm sure we've all been there.
Right. Okay. Plato says, no one is more hated than he who speaks the truth. Hey, Rashana, I see you. And that is true. When I read that by Plato, I said, wait a minute, he's on to something because he's right. Because I don't understand why people ask you for your opinion. And then when you tell them the truth about what they said, now they mad. They mad. And so I want to dig into that tonight. So when people say they want the truth, but then they don't want the truth. So what do you guys think about that? What should we do when somebody comes to us and asks us for the truth? Go ahead.
Tell them just whatever comes to mind. I mean, ain't no need in sugarcoating because life is not sugarcoated.
Now that's true, Lisa. That is true. Life is not
That's true,
sugarcoated
Lisa.
at all.
And sometimes people need to hear it. I mean, face it or not, it is what it is.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. I've had that question put to me, and the person that asked me that, this particular instance that I'm talking about, I just asked her, I said, do you want to tell you what I really think, or do you want to just tell you what you want to hear? Because that's a lot of times they just want us to say what they want to hear and not necessarily what we actually think. So and she got mad. She got mad at me because I didn't really tell her what she wanted to hear. I wanted the truth, but it's already mad. So we just went on with the truth. Or she's still mad at me. That was some years ago. So you know, she's still mad. But a lot of people, and necessarily think we think of the truth, but can we handle the truth?
And
Now
then on
that
top of
Sometimes we
all
can't.
that, I don't let
now
someone
that
who comes to me. I'm sorry, Sherry, you still talking?
no, Rhonda,
I
go
don't,
No,
ahead.
no. That was
okay.
Carlene.
If you come to me, first of all, you need to know my character. Because if you don't know my character, you shouldn't be asking me any type of
Right.
questions. And I'm not your friend's associate just to go
Exactly.
along with what you want me to say or think. So if someone comes to me,
Exactly.
first I put my disclaimer out. You know how I am. So if you really want to know what I
Hmm.
think, I'll tell you. But if you don't, I'm going to ask you what you want to do in that situation and put it back on that person.
Exactly.
At this stage of my life,
Exactly.
I don't have time, my energy telling you something
Ain't
that
got
you're not
nobody.
going to listen to
Right, Rhonda.
anyway. Why? Because you're going to do what you
I
want to do
understand. I hear you.
anyway.
Anyway.
that right. Now that is right. And now here's my feeling on that. People always want to know, what you think. Now, anybody that knows me know I'm brutally honest. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you exactly what the situation is. Sure, you're going to get mad. You might not talk to me for a while, and that's okay too. But one thing about it is, I want you to know what the truth is. And they say sometimes that the truth hurts. So
Mm.
even though that the truth hurts, hey, when you sit back and think about it, one thing you can't say is I lied to you. I told you the truth. Okay. So if you want to get mad, like Rhonda said, hey, that's cool. That's cool. Get mad does nothing for me, but at least I gave you correct information. Okay. And you know what, guys? I was doing a little research on this topic, about telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I found out that I had no idea. As many years as I've been reading and studying the Bible, I just realized that anything talking about the truth and doing with the truth, God has put it in the Bible 136 times. So if something is in a book 136 times, do you not think it's important?
Hmm.
Do you not think it's important? Well, I think it is very important if it's got mentioned that many times.
Well, there's got to be something to it. It's something. It's something to it. It's something to it.
Now, one thing that it is one thing that Lisa had touched on was the ideal of people. They want, or was that you, Sherry, when you said one of y'all said that people want you to tell them what they want to hear, not necessarily the
Yeah.
truth. They want you to side with them in their mess. It kind of like you're co-signing that it's okay. That it's
Mm-hmm.
okay for them to do whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah. I can't do it.
Yeah, I can't do it either. Because I had a situation
I
come
can't
up
do it.
where a lady, she was married. She had a husband. And she called me and she goes, I'm going to say I'm with you. Okay. But I'm really going over here with such and such. Excuse me? Hold on a minute. This ain't what we doing. Now that might be what you doing, but that's not what I'm doing. Okay. Because if your husband called me, I'm gonna tell him, yeah, you called me today. I talked to you, I ain't laid eyes on you, but you're not over here. So you need to straighten your mess before you leave the house, because I don't do that. I don't do that. Now, do y'all think I handled that situation correctly?
I think you handle it
You
correct.
told the truth.
Yeah.
First of
Yeah, I
I
did.
all,
told the truth.
why are you dragging me
Don't
into your shenanigans?
nobody want to be all mixed up in that mess.
Mm-hmm. Not
Yeah,
in this day and age.
I ain't gonna get all that mess.
No, ain't
I mean, we
no
got
way.
enough
You gonna
mess
be
in
calling me.
our own lives. You try to, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, look, like I said, I keep everything 1,000% real. I ain't got time for that mess. Okay. Now, one of the things I don't understand why people always want validation for their issues. That I don't understand, needing validation. Because to me, when you get into situations, you actually want to grow. Hey, Francine, I see you. Hey, Tamil, I see you too. Um, to me, life is hard enough to navigate. Okay. So when we're navigating life, all the issues and different things that we go through, we ought to grow from them issues.
Mm-hmm.
You should want growth. You should want to grow. You shouldn't want to stay stuck in the same place. Okay.
But
Because I
Carlene,
know.
I'm gonna just keep it real though. Some people want to stay stuck. I have a cousin by marriage. She's my BFF. She doing the
Uh-huh.
same nonsense she did in her teens, and she 50 now. And so when she asks about something, I just say okay. I'm not agreeing. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not advising because in all these years you have not done or anything to change. Some people want to be stuck, and I'm okay with you being stuck. I don't give you my opinion or thoughts anymore because it don't matter. So I'll just say be you, whoever you want to be. Don't bring your shenanigans to me, but be whoever you want to be. And if stuck is where you
Mhm.
at, I love you in your stuck place. I'm just not gonna be there
Okay.
with you.
Right.
Yeah,
Now that I agree with. I'm
yeah.
not gonna stay stuck with you because life is too short to stay stuck. You know, we have a lot of things that we can do. And sometimes I know all of us have went through trauma, all of us have went through hurt. And if you sit back and think about those situations, we grown from them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least I did. I've learned from mine. Okay. I can't say everybody has learned, but I did. I learned from mine. And when I look back on some of those things, you know, I thank God. At the time, I wasn't thanking God because I didn't understand what was going on. But now looking back, I understand what was going on. I understand why I had to go through those things to get to where I am now. And that's why I appreciate you ladies so much, because if I come to you with something, you're going to tell me, hey, just what it is. You know what? Snap out of it. Because I know there's been times I got mad at Sherry, and Sherry said, I don't care about you being mad at me. She said, I could care less. Go on. And, we have hung up the phone. And Sherry said, when you get okay, you can call me back. You can call me back. And I love her for that. I love her for that. And then, the shoe has been
That's
on
right.
the other foot too. The shoe's been on the other foot. And with all of you ladies. And, Lisa, me and you done had some times, good googly moves, girl. The things we done went through with our nieces and nephews and brothers and sisters. Man. Okay, Destiny, I see that. She said, y'all see her comment?
Oh,
She said,
Golden
it's
Girls.
getting the Black Golden Girls.
What is a
I think
15-year-old?
She's
You
calling
better
us
Come
pray
Black.
to get
through,
to
Blanche.
his
Come
age.
through, Blanche. Dorothy, bro.
Okay.
That's okay, Destiny. We like that. The Black Golden Girls.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. Thank you, Miss Destiny.
Tell her
Thank
we
you.
auntie.
You guys,
Get it right. We
oh,
aunties.
y'all aunties?
Yeah, we
Oh,
are.
I'll be
aunties.
your
Okay.
auntie.
Mm-hmm.
You know how the
Okay.
aunties get in them
We still
youngest
golden
butts.
though. We still golden though.
We are.
Golden
And you
aunties.
know what? And I don't mind, snatching some of the younger generation because, we have children now that are coming up. If we're really telling the truth, we have children coming up that have not been trained. They have not been trained. Okay. There's a lot that they don't know. And I can't really say whether they've been taught to tell the truth or not. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know, because when I go out and I talk to a lot of them, I see that they really don't know a whole lot. They have not been taught. So I don't even know if they're aware of the word truth. What do you guys think about that? Because I know you're out, you see these younger generations. What are some of your thoughts about them telling the truth,
I,
being in reality?
I think that there's something to what you say, but I think overall, I think a lot of these younger people, they just, I think there's more of them that do deal with the truth than not.
Okay.
And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's any generation. I think that there's more of them that deal with the truth than not. They just deal with it differently than perhaps you and I may
Okay.
may
Okay. So
deal with
what
it. I,
difference?
I know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to get my, because things evolve. They don't do things the same. These kids come out, girl, they come out smart. And I'm not lying. They come out smart. They know way more things at that age than I did at that age. Than I did when I was at that age. I would have never, um and honestly, it's in the way of upbringing. A lot of parents don't have the time. They working 2, 3, 10, 50, 11 jobs trying to, keep stuff going in their house, and they're
Mhm.
not because the internet is raising our kids. The internet
Yeah.
and TikTok and all
Reality
of that. They're Yeah, reality TV, exactly. And it wasn't like that for us. So, but I think that they're receiving a lot of the information in a more, because it's just out there. It's just out there
True.
in their face,
Yes.
where
I
Mhm.
when we were kids, we weren't exposed to a lot of what these kids are exposed to now,
Now
as
that's
far
true.
as handling different situations. So
True.
right.
I think we shouldn't discredit the whole, that they don't know or whatever, because I think there's a lot. That's just like good news. I think there's a lot more good people in the world than um people that want to do harm. But we hear about
Mhm.
the people that want to do harm more than we hear about the people that are trying to do
True.
good. And I think that's the
Okay.
same as far as these kids with the truth.
I
Now
see it
that
a,
is
a
true.
little bit differently. I
Okay.
think the generations are book intelligent, but they
Mhm.
lack emotional intelligence. Meaning they can tell you how to create a 3D something, blah 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 blah. But when it
Mhm.
comes to emotional
Yeah.
intelligence, how to deal with a situation where you didn't win or you didn't get first place, they break down because they don't
True.
have that emotional intelligence. And this is why you see, to me, so many things going awry because they don't have the skill set to deal in that arena. Now they can write in a book or a thesis or whatever, a math equation, but let that equation or they get an F or something. For some, that's their world. And
Mhm.
I sure say the exposure to everything is so instant now, where in our day, had the Encyclopedia Britannica. Now you got Google, Safari,
Girl.
uh,
Yeah.
all of them.
Mhm.
Alexa, what's the new thing that the chat, whatever it's called, the chat thing,
Oh,
AI.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
GPT, something like that. AI,
Yeah,
yeah.
Team
GPT,
chat. I think
AI.
that's what it's called. Yeah.
Hmm.
Right. So you
Yeah.
got all these things thinking for you. You don't have time to think for yourself and
For yourself.
develop those skills. You just gonna put it in. What is this? Whoop. How
Now
should I
that
act
is
today?
true.
Whoop.
That is true. Do you think that
Instant
is
gratification.
Yes.
now? Do you think that will the actual growth that they really need to make these other generations? Do you think that's going to really hinder them as far as communicating in this world? Or do you think everything is just going to keep going that way?
I'm gonna let somebody else talk.
Now, go
That's
ahead
a
with your
lot.
thoughts. Go ahead. Now, go ahead with
Just
your
to,
thoughts.
just to,
Repeat your question again.
I can't hear you.
Repeat your question one more time, so I'll make sure
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. We're talking about actual growth. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're telling the truth about these issues. Do you think AI is going to be all of these kids know? Okay. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
How is that going to affect their actual growth? Because, see, we say a lot of times that, now, me, myself, I say a lot of the generations do not know how to communicate. And okay, I'm going to break it
Including
down.
us. Well, we don't have all the skill sets because our parents told us to shut up and sit down. You
Mhm.
you couldn't talk back. So we didn't until
yeah.
at least for me until later on in life as an adult, I learned that skill set because it was indoctrinated in my head to sit down, shut up, and be quiet in all arenas. So I had to learn I have a right to my voice. And I have a right to communicate that to someone, but do it in a manner so that we can may not agree,
Mhm.
but we can respect one another.
Okay.
Right.
That's what's gonna be difficult for them to transcend to because they know they because we taught them you have a right to speak. But now they
Mhm.
don't want to shut up. Or they think that their opinion is the only one. So I'm like, whoa, let me dial this back. I want you to speak, but I
Mhm.
want you to listen also. And I want you to hear me. And to hear me, I want you to tell me what I was saying, not in your own words. So AI, I don't think AI is good because they could put something in there and the AI will formulate the thought process for them. They don't have to use their own know-how. Oh, and I know because I was
Right.
just playing
Right.
around with it. I was just putting anything in there and it would formulate different things. I'm like, whoa. So these kids, paper gonna be super, super great because AI is gonna feed them to say that. But when they have to do something to me orally, that's where they're gonna flop because they will have all this technology to tell them or show them how to do something.
Mhm.
They'll have to try to think of it on their own. I told you I'll talk, Carly. You know,
Okay.
better jump in, turn it off, Rhonda.
Yes, we get into yes. That's okay. That's okay. Let me ask you this: in this society now, do you think we prioritize feelings over facts?
Do we prioritize
When we say
feelings over
something,
facts? You mean as a whole?
uh-huh. hmm When you're in a conversation
Do we care
with
whether or not
somebody,
we
do
hurt your
you?
feelings?
That's what I'm saying.
Is that what you mean?
Prioritizing feelings, yes, ma'am, over facts.
Um, I think some people might,
Go ahead and say it. I see it. Go ahead and say it.
but well, see, this is why. Look, this is why I didn't want to be on this podcast because my face tell everything. It tell
I don't
everything. I
have a
don't care
poker
about your
face.
feelings. I don't care about your. I don't play poker either. I don't. I don't care about your feelings. I don't.
We all got them.
I care. I care, but I don't care. Do you understand what I mean by that?
hmm hmm
I'm not trying to go
hmm
around and just hurt people's feelings intentional, not giving any care to how I say things to you or how I deal with you. But at the end of the day, Um, do you just not want your feelings just not to be heard, or and you keep doing things in a haphazardly fashion, or can we not care about your feelings and let's get to where you need to be? Let's just do that instead of me
Or a combo.
trying to yeah, or a combo. Yeah, I'm not trying to
Look,
be
you can have your feelings,
rude or anything
but
like
these
that.
are, so I'm gonna say you
Exactly.
can have your
Feel
feelings, but don't negate the facts of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Without my
yeah,
feelings, I know that you're wrong. In fact, I know
Okay.
that you're wrong.
exactly.
I like that with this.
Okay. Now, Lisa,
Exactly.
now me and you have gotten into some things. Would you prioritize the person's feelings over facts?
No, I'm a straight shooter, so I'm pretty much gonna say what's on my mind, whether you like it or not, especially if it needs to be said. Because sometimes people need to be held accountable for
Mm-hmm.
their actions,
Mm-hmm.
and then sometimes
Yeah.
you can do everything under the sun, but when it comes time for somebody to tell you the truth, you run. You
Mm-hmm.
don't want to hear it,
Mhm.
and that to me that's character
Yep.
flaws. That's people that can't handle it.
Mm-hmm. 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 I like that, Lisa. I like that character flaw. So, would you say the generations coming behind us have a character flaw?
Well, the Bible speaks of the cursed generation. So, I mean, each generation gets dumber and dumber. I'll put it that way. I mean, nobody wants to be held accountable. Everybody wants to, we due to the life of social media, nobody can actually hold a conversation in your face. You can say anything on social media and type it,
Anything
Mm-hmm.
but when it comes
yeah.
to facts,
Yeah.
nobody wants to hear it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
Okay, I
true.
get that. I
People
get that.
come with their opinions. They come with their opinions and whatever. We all have opinions, like the other thing we all have.
That's right.
But they're doing it from the keyboard where you can't see them and you can't hold them accountable because they can just leave. They can leave the conversation without,
They
they say
leave
what they
they
say
block
and
you.
they leave the conversation. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's
and
because
they, and they
on your
block you.
Facebook,
And
right? Yeah, on your
yeah,
Facebook, I guess your
so
Instagram or Twitter,
any
they
of those things.
they
But
they right. They take it
but
personally
we
instead of seeing
all
it as information.
yeah, well, I mean yeah, but we've all done that. But instead of
Ooh, that's
keeping
blurry.
it real with yourself, knowing that you're in your feelings, because we all get in our feelings. I'm
Yes,
not gonna sit here and try and act like I don't do that. Because yes, I get in my feelings, but then at the end of the day, I have to think about okay, so why am I so upset about whatever it is that's going on? When you think back, when you when God gives you that clarity to think back and say, well, you know what, maybe I could have did this a little bit different, or I could have
Mm-hmm.
said that a little bit differently. You know, you have to be held accountable. We all have to be held accountable for our actions and our inactions
Mm-hmm.
for
true.
what we may or may not do or say, because you can't just say what you want and treat people badly.
Any other
That's not
way.
what telling the truth should not consist of. That you can't just go around just throwing darts at folks and thinking that, oh, I'm the big tree slayer, I'm just gonna throw my darts and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to have any consequences, because we are all supposed to treat people the way we would like ourselves to be treated.
That
So,
is true. That is true.
you have to think about that, when you're dealing with people too. Now, when
Hmm.
say I don't care about your feelings, I don't care about your feelings. If you my friend,
Hmm.
I'm caring about your feelings. If you somebody that's in my life, but I'm telling you something that you don't want to hear. You know, I'm caring about your feelings because your friends don't just tell you stuff that you want to hear all the time. Not your real
That's
friends.
correct.
Your friends tell you,
Correct.
girl, you need to sit yourself down somewhere. Go on and sit down.
Mhm.
Go on and sit down
Mhm.
somewhere and gather yourself. And then when you, like Carly says, when you we'll talk later when you ain't in your feelings. Because we've all been put in our feelings by our friends. And I'm grateful for that because my real friends don't let me get away with stuff. You understand? They don't let me get away with just I don't no, Sherry, you can't do that. No, you need to think about that. They tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Do we always like to hear the truth? No, we don't.
That's true.
I'll be in
That
my
is true.
feelings. We all been in our feelings, and that's
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
that's the truth. That is the truth. But
Yeah.
yeah, they get behind the keyboard and they think that once they say what they say, they drop that bomb, then they block you, so you can't say nothing back to
Mm-hmm.
them.
Yeah. They rather. I think it's a fear of change because you're handing out information and you're handing out valuable information that could change a person's life if they listen to you and understand what you change or what you're saying. And some choose to ignore it. Now, those that go on ignore, when you call me, I'm on ignore. See, I'm like Rhonda. You're not gonna keep wasting my breath about something that we done talked about 5 or 6 times, and now here
Over.
you calling
Over.
back for the 10th
Yeah.
time you want to talk. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I done gave you the information. Obviously, you like where you at because you ain't changed it, or you choose to ignore it. Whichever the case is, that's okay with me.
And that's fine.
That's okay. Right.
That's
You can
okay
be.
because that's your choice.
That's
We all
right.
have free will, and that's your choice.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, so
You know,
just
That's
and
your
I
tell
think
choice.
me
You
too.
about
can't.
it though.
What's that saying? You can lead a horse to
But
water,
you
but
can't
you can't
make it.
make him
That's
drink.
right.
Right. Yep.
That's right.
That is so true.
That
That is
that
so true.
you can't.
Well,
You
see,
can't.
when you when you're around
So I
people like
mean, but you can't
us,
keep doing the same stuff and expect.
Mm-hmm.
that's
Right. That's
called
right.
that's called insanity. That's insanity. But see, what
Mm-hmm.
it is, I think with people like us, because of the way we are, and we're all brutally honest. Now, I have no filter. Okay.
None. I would
Lisa has
agree.
no
You have
filter.
none.
Okay.
Oh God.
I
No,
know,
we
baby. I
know. We
know.
know you ain't
And
got
you know
none. You
what?
got zero.
I tried to work on it and it just don't happen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It just don't
No, you
happen.
didn't. You don't know you didn't.
But
You didn't try. You didn't try
did
hard
what?
enough.
Yes, I did. I tried. I tried, but you know what? I don't see the need to beat around the bush. I don't like that. Well,
Well,
girl, well, you know,
there's that
uh,
part.
well,
There's
maybe
that
we
part.
No,
uh
no, no, Carlene.
well
That's not what you do.
no, look
You
here.
come in with the bazooka
That's
instead of the little
right.
water pistol. And I be telling you, now you
Part,
need to change
Rhonda.
a couple words.
That's what I'm
That's all.
saying. I don't see the need to beat around the bush like that. Why you gonna be doing all of that?
Military
No,
Well,
no,
girl, well,
personnel.
you
no.
know what
That
my
ain't beating
Security
around the
law.
bush.
no,
I know you don't reveal your sources, but I'd like
Yeah.
your
no, we ain't
sources,
doing
but
that.
I'd like you to elaborate
Look at
about
here.
the
It's
metal
like this.
shackles they're
Look
going
at
to put
here.
on the wrists with the
Okay,
computer
you
chip,
know what you're doing
and
is
maybe
wrong,
have a
right?
phone rec you can.
You know it like I know it. You know it's wrong. Okay, we're getting some feedback. Somebody gonna have to cut something off.
Hmm.
I don't know where it's coming
Yeah,
from.
I think it's
But
gone now.
anyway,
I don't have anything on.
okay. I don't see the need to beat around the bush. I never have, y'all. I've always been what do you call it? Very analytical. It's gotta add up. Okay. So you're gonna keep running down here. This dude gonna
The
keep
math
punching
got a
you in your
math.
eye. You gonna come back. But I love him. But girl, anybody punching you ain't right. And then you gonna keep running back. But I love look here. Okay. You know what's happening to you, don't you? Okay. You the one feeling them punches. If you okay with it, I'm okay with it. Okay. You have to be not okay. Then once you're not okay, then you will change it. I'm a firm believer when somebody gets tired of something, they will change it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not gonna keep doing that. And I'm, oh well, girl, well here, give me here. Let me give you a bag of peas to put over that. No, look here. Look here, we're not doing that. That's just me. And y'all know that. Y'all know that. So y'all know y'all not gonna get
No,
no sugar
we know
coating
that.
coming
We
here.
just say you just need to add a little sugar, honey, and a little less vinegar.
Yeah, because let me just touch on that for just a minute because don't think I haven't had those same thoughts about that type of situation, but a lot of times uh women are in those situations that they can't get out of because they're afraid that that person and men too, people, let me just say people are in those situations
Okay.
um where it may be abusive, either physically or emotionally, where they don't feel safe to make a move. Maybe there's kids involved or something of that nature, where because people have lost their lives trying to leave and
Yeah.
have been found by that other person that they were trying to escape from. Um, but I think I'm leaning more towards I think that what you're leaning more towards is those of us that have been in those types of relationships where just dumb stuff keep happening. I almost said the wrong word. Dumb stuff
Yeah.
keeps happening, and we see
Hmm.
it. We know because our spidey senses are tingling. Our spidey senses
Right.
are tingling. All back up in here, your spidey senses are tingling, and they're telling you things that you don't really want to face up to because you love him or they love her. You know what I'm saying? They just turning a
Mm-hmm.
blind eye. But in the same instance, they run into you, Carlene, or you, Rhonda, or you, Lisa, or me, and they just want to cry on my shoulder and tell me all the bad things that or how they make them feel and all that stuff. I'm gonna leave him. Why they mad? They gonna Why they mad?
Hmm.
But when they go home, they
Hmm.
get glad again. I think that's what you're.
Yes.
At least
Yes.
that's
That's
what I
exactly.
feel that where you're going
Yeah.
with that
Uh-huh.
with
Yeah, that's
that
exactly where I was going with
that
that
comment
instance. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because
Exactly.
I'm with
Exactly.
you. We done had this conversation 50, 11 times already. You like it? I love it. What you want me to do? Because he cheating on you, she cheating on you. You know they've been caught. You done seen it with your own eyes, but you trying to tell yourself you didn't really see what you saw or heard what
That's
you
true.
saw. You know, heard what you heard or read what you
Hmm.
read on a text message or whatever.
Hmm.
But you stay there because why? Because you feel you can't do any better.
Hmm.
What's that movie? I can do bad all by myself. We can,
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, that is a
but we
movie.
can
Yes. Uh-huh.
also do good all by ourselves. We
True.
we we
True.
don't have to
And I
keep
know.
ourselves in a relationship, whether it's a friendship,
Hmm.
with a friend, or someone that's supposed to be our significant others. We don't have to keep ourselves locked into a relationship because we think we can't do any better, or we don't want to be alone in the world. We came here alone. We're gonna die alone. Um, it's okay
Yeah.
to
Hmm.
be by yourself. Enjoy yourself.
Now that is true.
You
Now I
understand?
know
Of
y'all
course, I
just
want
jumped
to
on
do
me.
things with people.
Now I know y'all just jumped on me and said I don't
You
have no
just what?
filter. And I know y'all just told me I don't have no filter. I understand. And I know being real doesn't mean being rude. I know that.
Right.
You can say things in a way to get people's attention. Because
Yeah,
me and Lisa was
exactly.
talking
Where you
about
don't
this
have to.
earlier today. Sometimes you got to speak to get attention. You got to speak their language to get attention. Sometimes you have to go there,
Yeah, because
and
we've
then
been
you
there,
know, then they hear you.
and I
Oh,
have
yeah.
gone there.
Now we're on the same
Yeah, because
page.
that's when they hear me. That's when they hear you
Yes,
though. When you
exactly.
done
Exactly.
can't, when you know can't let your mouth with some stuff. I definitely have been there. I have. I have. Yeah, I have. And you know who I'm talking about, who I'm thinking about.
Yes,
You know,
yes, I
but
do. Unfortunately,
yeah,
I do.
that's when they want to hear you, and then they be like surprised that you even went there. You tried to have a conversation, an intelligent conversation, you know, with them, and back and forth. Everybody's not going to agree with you all the time. Nobody, you know, we have to agree to disagree sometimes. But
That is true. That is true.
you can't just get in my face and expect me not to react because I'm not trying to be in your face like that. We're trying to have a conversation. But when
Mhm.
we've gotten to the point where you're trying to be in my face, then I have a problem.
Hmm. Hmm. Now
Mhm.
that is
I have a
true.
problem with that.
Now think about a time, ladies. Think about a time when you avoided the truth. What happened?
Hmm.
Girl,
Sometimes it just escalates
hmm,
because you get mad. You know, you don't want to hear it. I mean, really, it is. You avoid it. You don't want to hear it. You do get mad. Um, and a lot of times that's because we don't hold ourselves accountable and be able to accept the truth. I mean, really, it's nobody wants to hear it. That's all it is to it. We don't want to be chastised. We don't want, I mean, you know, when you get a certain age,
that
there's
part.
no filter.
Yeah,
You're going to be truthful. You just going to say what's on your mind. You don't care whose feelings you hurt. I mean, there is a way to bring it to a
yeah,
person, but
Hmm.
sometimes you
yeah,
lose the energy. I mean, once the energy is out the door, you don't care. I mean, you don't.
yeah.
You
You don't.
don't
I mean, because we
at
all
all.
what
That's a good point,
50
Lisa.
and 60 plus.
Mhm.
We don't care anymore. I don't hold back
Plus,
anymore. I
I'm on
mean,
the plus side.
I'm not looking for friends, and I'm not.
Girl, because I
I'm
got
not.
enough. I got enough. I ain't interviewing nobody. I'm not. I'm not interviewing anybody. I'm not.
Y'all not interviewing for
Because
more
that they
friends?
know
No.
not. Because look, I do show myself to be friendly. You know what they say, in order to be a friend, you have to show yourself to be friendly. And I do. I meet
Correct.
people all the time. I engage in conversation with them. I don't even care where I'm at. I can be at the gas station. I could be at the grocery store. I'm all you know. I talk to people. I talk to people, and I
Hmm.
get people that talk to me a lot. I get a lot of
Hmm.
people that talk to me. I get people tell me they stuff. They just it's something about me that
Mm-hmm.
people just tell me they stuff. And people that have told me things that were just for me to hear, I've held on to their secrets. Now we may necessarily not speak anymore or whatever, but I haven't let their
Hmm.
secrets go because that's not who I am. I'm not going.
Mhm.
That's right.
You told me
That's
something in
right.
confidence, it's going to stay here. It's staying here,
Hmm.
regardless of what our situation may be,
I agree.
like at this moment in time. Or we may not have a situation because you know, Lord put people in your life for a season and a reason. You
That's
know,
true.
and
True.
we don't know how long that
That
season is going to be, and what that. But we do realize after that season is over, the Lord will reveal to us what that reason was
that's
in
right.
His time,
Right.
not
Right.
ours. So, I've
Right.
had to learn that the hard way because there are people that used to be in my life that I still love and care about,
Hmm.
but they're not here
Hmm.
anymore. And I had to um come to the realization that that season that they were in my life, that's over. That's over
Mhm.
now, and I have
True.
to move
True.
on. You know,
Right.
And don't think I wasn't mad about it, but once the Lord gives you clarity, and he talks to
Mhm.
you and makes you aware of those things that he has put out, he closed that door for a reason.
Yes.
He closed
Yes.
that particular
Yes.
door for a reason. So,
And now I
um,
agree. I
but
agree.
but you just have to, and it's on us. It's not on the other person. It's on us
Right.
to get that comprehension that and
Mhm.
deal with that. So, anywho,
Okay. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm a firm believer that not everyone deserves your energy.
Hmm.
Okay.
that's
Not
true.
everybody
I
deserves
agree
your
with you
energy.
on
And the reason why I say that is
your
think
energy
about it.
because we give out so much.
Over women are natural givers anyway. That's just who we are. We give,
Yes, we are.
if you're in a relationship, you give. If you have children, you give. We got all have sisters and brothers and siblings, and we're the ones that doing the giving. We are the givers and the enablers in our families.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We are them. So not everybody
Yeah.
deserves our energy. Sometimes we have to pull back. Okay? Because that old
Yeah.
saying, they'll use you until they use you up.
Yeah.
So
That
we
is so
have to
true.
decide who deserves our energy. And so you have to be careful with people. And the reason why I say that is we all have people that have been around us, and I call them yes people. They
Mm-hmm.
agree with everything you say, everything you do. And when you have a person like that, you better be careful. Because see, I know for a fact I'm not always right. And like you said, Sherry, we get in our feelings and we stomping around like somebody done stole our bicycle or something because we're just mad, don't know which way to turn, what way to do. You're huffing and puffing, trying to, I guess, get rid of, walk through whatever that is that you got. So when you find people around you that are just yes people, how do y'all handle that? And I know y'all have all had some
Hmm.
people like that, but you came to the realization one day, you was like, wait a minute, everything I say, they agree with it.
I'm probably gonna
Most of the time, because it's something
I
about
guess
you
for me,
that they want,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll try to use you. So everything is gonna be yes, thinking that they can kind of butter up, suck up to you, or whatever. But it don't work.
You
I
see
can
right
spot
through
it a mile
it.
away. Generally,
I
when a person
know,
really
and
can't
that's
look you
just
in your
crazy
eye and talk to
because
you,
I'm,
they
yes,
it's their
yeah,
intentions are not
it's
what
something.
the
Yeah,
facial expression
they're
shows.
not honorable. They're because they're not honorable. They're not. And we all try
Okay.
to be. Most of us try to be honorable. Most of us try to be honorable.
Mhm.
We try. But those people that's
Yeah, try to be
always yes,
honorable and
okay,
walk with integrity.
yes, yes, that
Mhm.
part.
Mhm.
Because
So how do
like I
you
said,
handle
I'm just
people
gonna
like
go
that?
back to that you know, I
Treat them with a long
I
handled
have
spoon.
that
I'm gonna even go
part.
further than
That
that.
part. Thank you.
At this age,
That's the part. That's the saying. It was coming to me. I'm old. You have to give me a chance to get it. It was right there. It
no,
just didn't get
baby,
here.
you're not
But
old.
thank you.
You
That's
wait, Sherry,
exactly
you're
what
not
you have to
old.
do.
You're seasoned, and
I'm seasoned. I'm seasoned.
for me,
I'm
you
seasoned.
said a long handle.
I'm seasoned.
I'm probably going. eliminate them because
Girl, I'm getting a
I'm
shovel.
trying to be around here to 100, 150. And if
Yeah.
I'm exerting any type of energy on you, you taking away from my lifespan.
Mhm.
And so to enhance my
Yeah.
lifespan,
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna keep you. I don't even know if I'm really keep you in my thoughts. You may be in a prayer here and there, but I'm done.
That hard, girl. I've had to just, oh, wee.
And I had
Now,
to
Ron,
check me
And it made
so
me
that I
feel,
would be
it made me
okay.
sad at first that I had to let these people go.
But
Like
I
Moses told Pharaoh to let my people go. I had to let them people go because they are sucking all the
but
energy and the
look,
joy out of my life.
let me
And
tell
I'm
you.
on the other side. I'm like, I'm trying to get, Lord say the same. I'm trying to get some triple digits on a
Me
birthday or two. You
too.
know what I'm saying? And I don't
Yeah.
have time for all of that foolishness. None of us do. None of us do. I don't
Yeah.
have time for that. And I'm not gonna lie, it made me sad at first because I didn't realize that, you know what? You're gonna be all right, girl. You gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. You don't need them.
Hmm.
Because guess what? Since them been gone, you you've
Hmm.
been a little more lighter. Your steps have been lighter. You're not stressing as much. You're not clutching your pearls all the time, wondering what now. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing any of those things.
mhm,
You happy
So
about that? You
okay,
just doing
bye.
right.
real happy,
You know what
and
I'm
that's
saying?
what I'm living
Yeah,
for.
yeah,
I I can
yeah.
tell you where a good therapist is, a psychiatrist, but it can't be me. I have done all that I could do, and I
I've done
study
all
to
I can
love me
do.
more than I love
I've
you.
given it all I've got, Captain. Yeah.
What about you,
I
Carlene?
have to think about me now. Yeah, I have to love
Hmm.
me more than I
Well,
love you.
see,
Because
with
I've been
people,
loving a lot of folks more than I love me for a long time.
what we have to
Hmm.
do said, okay, y'all, Romans 12 and 2 says, urging Christians to move beyond mere conformity to the world and to actively embrace a transformed mindset, allowing them to discern and live according to God's will. And see, that's happened for each of us as we grew in our journeys and our walks. Our mindsets were transformed. That's why
Hmm.
now, like Lisa was saying, we're at the 50s and 60s stage. We just say what's on our mind, okay?
Hmm.
Because we have been transformed in our mind. So we don't have time to play games. So that's why we come across as brutally honest. Sometimes they take brutally honest people as rude people. We not rude. We just been there, done that. Okay. So I'm gonna give you the Cliff Notes version. I'm not giving you the long version. That's where we're at now. We're at the Cliff Notes. Okay. This is the test you're taking. These are the answers to the test. I'm done. But see, sometimes people see that as being rude, and it's not being rude. That's just a person that's done been around the block, as they say. We done been there, done that. So we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah,
And we're
I
living
just
a different life
because
than we used to. Because just like
yeah,
some of the
I'm trying to do things differently. I'm trying to do things differently for
exactly,
myself.
exactly,
Hmm.
And
exactly,
and
exactly.
like I said, I'm
You
not
see,
I'm not interviewing
that's where
for no new friends. I have friends. I have a tight circle, and they know who they are. They know who they are.
People are supposed to be worried about.
that is
These
right.
ladies have been in my
Now
life
I'm
for
going to
a long
throw a
time.
wrench in.
They know who they are.
Okay. I know I'm gonna get a lot of feedback on this. We get ready to wrap this up, but I just gotta throw this little tidbit in there. Okay, Rhonda, you said I want you to sit back because I don't want you to fall out of chair.
Hold on. Okay.
Okay, we've been talking.
Oh, good my lord.
Okay, you back. Okay, we have been sitting here talking about telling the truth,
I sat back for
talking
it.
about how. Okay, how we keep things real. One person that I've been following lately is Jasmine Crockett.
Mhm.
Do y'all think she's been keeping it real?
100%.
She's calling them out on the corruption.
Yes.
That is my girl. That's my girl.
Mhm.
And I think the stuff that she says needs to be said. Because I
It
don't know
hurt.
what
It
in the
understood.
Yeah.
what is going on up there in but she is keeping it real. Yes, she is. They trying to form all these weapons against my girl, but they're not gonna prosper. They're not gonna prosper. Too many folks is keeping her lifted up in prayer. They're not. She's not.
Right.
No,
That's it. That's it.
no.
That's it. And the word of God says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So even though it seems
That's
like
exactly
she's
right,
walking through the valley of the shadow of death,
Mhm.
but she is covered.
girl.
She
She
is
ain't
covered.
fearing
I
no.
want
She's
her to
covered.
keep.
She's covered.
Mhm,
She's covered,
mhm.
and
She's not
I'm
any
claiming that
evil,
in
and
Jesus'
I'm
name.
loving
She is
it.
covered.
I'm loving it.
Mhm.
Me too. I'm here for it. I'm 10 toes deep.
Me too.
I'm here for it. Yep. I'm a
Yes,
92
yes,
percenter. I'm here for it.
yes.
Because we
Mhm.
tired.
Only 92. We can't get 100.
We tired. We we no, we didn't. Because if we had have gotten 100, it would a lot of these things that are happening wouldn't be going on right now.
Mhm.
But
No,
at
that
the
is
end of the day, we gonna take our rest and sip our tea and let somebody else clutch your pearls. Because and you know what I mean when I say we have been in the
Mhm.
true.
forefront for minty years,
Yes, we
minty
have.
years,
Yes, we have.
Mhm.
and not just for ourselves though. And I say we as a people, we have been in the trenches and done all these things not just to lift ourselves up, but to lift up everyone that is um in the minority or marginalized or what have you. But nobody thinks about us except us. And it's time for us to take a rest because we tried to tell them. You can only say so much. We tried to tell
Well,
them.
here's the thing that
And
sticks in my mind. Maya Angelou said, when a person tell you who they are, believe them. Believe them.
yep, when they show you, they tell them you should.
So
And
we
sometimes,
got
we've
told.
all been guilty of not wanting to believe, but not wanting to believe what our eyes was. We thought our eyes was lying to us, or our ears
Mhm.
we didn't hear what we thought we heard, but we did.
Mhm.
I bet they believe it
We
now.
did.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, sure,
Listen,
because
guys.
people didn't think that was gonna affect them. Let's keep it real. They didn't think it was gonna affect them. They thought it's only
Mhm.
gonna affect us.
Well, all I can say to
Not the
that
case.
is
It affects everyone.
we came from being born kings and queens to going through slavery,
It's not the case.
coming out of slavery, marching, getting all the laws back to where they were, where everybody benefited from the laws. So now, like you said, it's our time to sit back. We've been there and done that. I feel like it's time for people to get up now that have been just sliding through. It's time for you
Mhm.
to get up and fight. It's time. It's time for you to get up and
Yeah,
fight and do what you
because
got to do.
as soon as we show up in these streets, it's going you
Exactly.
seen I know you've seen all these things that are happening, these protests and stuff. And they've been relatively
Mhm.
peaceful. Nobody's going to jail, all that stuff. But as soon as we show up, it's going to be a problem. So we need to stay home.
Yeah, that's
We
where we're
need to
staying
stay
is at
home
home because we've
and
been
let
there, done
somebody
that.
else.
We've been there, done that. And this
Because
too.
we tired.
Yeah, and this too shall pass. That's the way I see it. This too shall pass.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
And
and it
we know
will.
how to pass the time.
It will. We need to
Yes.
humble
Yeah.
ourselves and pray. If people would humble
Can't make
themselves and
this up.
pray, He promised.
That's what he
Mm.
said. He already gave
He
the answer.
promised if we would pray and turn from our wicked ways, He promised He would heal the land, and I believe He's going to
Mhm.
do that.
Oh
But
yeah, he is. If you go to
we
Habakkuk
have
2,
to,
read Habakkuk 2.
huh?
It talks about the kings and how they tried to,
Uh,
manipulate the people and do things to the people. That's what Habakkuk 2 is talking about. And if you read it, think about what's going on now, it'll fall right in line for you. It'll fall right in line.
okay.
Well, ladies, let me tell you, I've been enjoying this hour talking with you guys, and I love the conversation. I love you guys' input, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for joining me on the first episode of Serenity Podcast. Now, I'm asking you to follow me at Serenity Podcast. It'll be on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. If you go and subscribe, every time an episode comes on, you'll get a notification. And you can tell your friends and family to do the same thing. They'll get a notification. It's not a weekly podcast, it's a bi weekly podcast.
Okay.
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 So thank you so
Okay.
much, ladies. I really enjoyed
Mhm.
your input and how you guys look at things. And I'm
Mhm.
glad you guys have filters. Somebody in our group needs filters. Okay.
That's
Me and
true.
Lisa have none.
Oh
We
God.
have none.
I was just trying to be good. See, I was trying to be good today, and I think I did good. I think I did extremely
You did.
good.
For it
I
to
didn't
for
say
it to be the
nothing. I
first
caught
one,
myself.
and we we
Yeah, I
didn't know
caught
what to
myself.
expect.
Expect. I caught myself a couple times. I had to reel
It went
back a
by
couple
rather
words
fast.
and things, but
Right.
yeah, I think I did real good. You know what,
You
and I can
did.
see myself, even my face. Did girl?
You did
Right.
good.
I'm so
You
proud of
did
me.
good, girl.
Excellent.
I appreciate. I'm proud of you too. I'm proud of you too.
You know,
Yes.
that's one of the main reasons I did not want to. Carlene, to tell y'all, I didn't want to do this because not this right here.
And
Mm.
I told her it's okay. It's okay because that's what this podcast
Oh,
is about. It's about keeping it real. It is about keeping it real.
yeah, but
And
you know,
everybody doesn't
sometimes,
say things the same way.
Mhm.
yeah, but I was trying to keep it real and keep it clean. And I am
You did
proud of
good.
the fact that I did. Thank you very much.
Yes, you did.
I did
Yes, you
good.
did. You did. And I really appreciate you guys. I love you. And I will see you again in 2 weeks, which I believe is August 13th at 6 o'clock. We will
April
have a
13th.
different topic.
April
Yeah,
13th.
No, you said
what did I say?
August,
16th. You
April.
right. April. You right. It's April.
No,
I'm
you said
sorry. I done moved
August,
months ahead. Okay, I'm sorry. I meant
You
April.
thinking about your vacation.
girl. She trying to go. Right, you right, Lisa. You right. That's what she thinking about. She trying to get close. She trying to get close to that ship. That's what she trying to do. She trying to get closer to that ship. I ain't mad
Mhm.
at you though.
Okay, ladies. Have a good one. We're signing off now.
Okay.
You guys take care. I love you. Thank you so
Take
much.
All
care,
right.
everybody.
Nice meeting
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye, lady.
All right.
And happy birthday again.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Ooh.